today.
Okay.
Like if you go to the command prompt, you need to install one thing known as pip install MySQL connector.
So similar way we have Oracle also connect.
Yes,
Okay.
just the database connectivity. You just have the modules.
Okay.
In Python, what's the advantage we have? We just have to install the modules. You should
Okay.
know what is the module name. So for MySQL, it's MySQL connector. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So here, it's already been installed actually in my system.
Okay.
Once you install this, we can write a connectivity program directly. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So what I can import the MySQL connector, right?
Okay.
After importing, I need to connect to the database. Like here, Python should know where the database location is, right?
Yes.
So what I'm trying to do, I'm having a connect method inside the MySQL connector module. So what is it method? Connect, which consists of few things like host. Host in the sense is a database like MySQL present in our system or is it in the server? So the IP address will be sufficient to represent this, either the server IP address or the system IP address. Or if you want to know, the system IP address can be represented by localhost. So what I'm trying to give localhost. Here you can give the system IP address also. Like how we get the system IP address, ipconfig directly. This is the system IP address. So this also we can give. Next, after this, we have to know the username and password.
Okay.
So what is the username and password you can say? For this, it's root username and root as a password, right? The same things I have to specify now. How to specify that? First, have user, which is root, and second have password. The spelling is not entirely password, it's passwd, that's it. That's a keyword they used. The same thing you have to follow. Okay. And how MySQL works? We create a database, right?
Database. Yeah.
So what is it? You can say I'm creating a database known as Infosys. Suppose database already exists. Create database Wipro. Spelling mistake. So what is the database we have? Wipro, right?
Yeah.
Now, in this thing, I can create a table. So what the table might be? Employee. And employee consists of what? First thing ID you can say, which is int of 10 and auto increment. So what this auto increment will do? It will directly increment the ID every time. Okay.
Okay.
And if you want, you can give the ID yourself. It's up to you whether you want to give the ID or you want to take it as auto increment. Right. So next, after that, we have a name varchar of salary. So salary might be int of 20, right? And after this, what we can say, the department. Every employee will be working in a department, right? So department will be there, and the department is a ID, integer, or a particular string. It's up to you. I'll just take an integer. And the last thing what you can say, address or anything. I'll just take the address. Where care of. Actually, I forgot something to declare that variable as private, primary key. So what's the primary key we have here?
ID.
ID. Nice work. Okay. So whatever the auto increment column is there, that should be primary key actually. Then only it works. So what is the table name? Employee, right?
Mm-hmm.
Employee has name, salary, department, address. We have 4 columns to give the values, right?
Okay.
So first of all, what is the database name we can say?
Wipro.
The database is Wipro. And when I do this thing, I'll get the connection object, right?
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Connection equals to mysql.connector.connect. Okay. Now, if you want to represent any record, we have to store the connection details, and that connection details can be stored like from the connection. You'll establish a cursor actually. Cursor in the sense it will make sure like here, if you have this is the first cursor. If it's pointing to the first record, it's first cursor. Next, second, that's the second cursor. Third, like this, you have to represent for all the rows. There are no rows, we'll insert the rows. Now, first row I want to insert. So I have to represent a cursor. How to represent a cursor? I'll be having a method known as cursor, which will give me a cursor object. That's it. This will be sufficient to have that particular values directly. Right. So if I want to send the values like SQL, what I'm trying to do, a query I'm writing, insert into employee, name is there, salary is there, department is there, and address is there. For all these things, I want to give the values. Consider I'm giving the values here itself. So what will happen? Every time I have to write a query and execute it to send the values. Like suppose I'm having here values, say name, so that will be like Rahul, salary will be some salary, department, and what I can say, Pune is that particular place. So we have written the query, right? Let's say I want to execute this query, but every time I have to send the values with the query. So what's happening here? The processing time of the machine will increase because every time this is common, right? This entire command is common. Only these values will be changing every time. So instead of giving the values directly, I want to write a pre-compiled query. Pre-compiled query in the sense without any values. First, I'll write the query. I'll hold the places for the values. Then I'll send the values separately. So what is the advantage? Query will be written once and the values can be transferred a number of times separately. You understood the problem, what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So here, in this scenario, what I'll do directly, I'll just say to hold a particular place, we have percentile s. So how many values I want to hold? 1, 2, 3, and 4. So how many percentile s I have to give? 4 percentile s will be given. Okay?
This percentage S is common for all the data types or it's particular data type?
No, all the data types.
Okay.
It's like holding a place. That's it.
Okay.
In Java, we use for a question mark actually. Here we are using percentile s. Just the operator is changing, but the meaning is same. There also we send the precompiled query and separate values. Okay. So here I want to give the value now. So what is that? I'm just saying val Rahul 20,000 102 and Pune. Next, how to execute this? We have a execute method which will execute the SQL and the values, both the things at a time. Okay. So next, connection dot commit. You know what is commit?
Yeah, just to save the
Save.
transaction.
Right. So save the things we are using it. And we have a connection which must be closed, right?
Yes.
So when you open a connection, you need to close it. Okay. So let's say I want to save it as what? We have G drive, Python programs, batch one, right? That's a MySQL example.py. If you want to check whether the records are inserted or not, here it got inserted, right?
Yes.
And the same thing, what I'm trying to do, let's say Shiva is there. Now, what I've done, Python space MySQL, right? py space MySQL exe.py. What I'm getting? Error, right?
Yeah.
But the same thing if I execute with full Python extension and MySQL.exe.py, I'm not getting error. You can see the difference, right? The thing is, py command cannot be used every time. The full name is better, right? Because it cannot access all the modules. Already the module MySQL is there because we installed it, MySQL connector. But the thing is, here Python space MySQL.exe.py only will have that access to the entire module. Okay. So make sure you're not executing this way. You have to execute this way only. Okay. Next. So here, this is what directly inserting the record, right? Next, how to insert multiple values. Let's say I want to insert multiple values at a time. We have list, right? What does list do? In the list, we can have tuple. Two things are possible at a time, right?
Yes.
In the list, we are having tuple also. Let's say, I'll just copy this thing and I just want to say Kiran. Again, I'm giving another value. So inside the list, I'm giving the tuple. Okay. Let's say we have three values now. Okay. And the three values I want to execute at a time now, right? And here we have a method inside this cursor known as row count. Like say print row count. And what I can say, records inserted. If you just want to represent that, we can say record inserted. Say this thing python.mysql.py. What happened?
Showing percentage error. Percentage.
I've used the square brackets. Then the double quotes. Yeah. Here what I'm using
We need to
execute,
give
right?
tuple in the quotes.
Yes, yes. Actually the method is different. Now it got inserted. How many records got inserted? You can see.
Yeah, 3.
The thing is execute in the sense only one value. Execute many in the sense many value. It was giving that tuple cannot be used in this execute method actually. The problem was that. So I got that remaining thing, right? And it's getting auto incremental, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So any table in the industry also will have this auto increment. Okay. And in Oracle you can have sequence actually. So next thing. How to read the values now? We are just inserting the records, right? Many values we are trying to do.
Select.
Let's see.
Cursor the
Yes.
selector.
Cursor.execute, select command we have to write in order to have that particular values. But how to retrieve them? That is also the point. Let's say I don't have all those things.
So, Rohit, 1 second. So here we are not processing in a for loop, right? Directly it reads a record and inserted. So it's automatic, right? Here.
Yes. Execute many in the sense many records it will take directly and insert it.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, just a database game asking. So if at all I'm reading record from one table and inserting another table, then I need to have a list declared and get the values in the list and then insert, or how we'll do.
Yeah, you can do that way.
Okay.
Whatever you're trying to get, store it in a list and try to again store in another database. But for that also we have in SQL a command, right? Select star from college into, or I written it wrong. Insert into college,
Select
selects into,
Set into
select star from some. I get confused, I guess.
yes, I
There's
said
a
no,
command.
without giving into just give select query. It works in Oracle, but I don't know.
Yeah, like there's a command which what it does from the table it will directly take it. So no need to again you have to do these things, right?
Okay.
So let's say I want to retrieve now. Select star from employee. Cursor dot sorry, execute is the thing, right? And where given parenthesis here, SQL we can give cursor dot execute. And in order to get all the records, what I have to do is I have to fetch all. So whatever the result is there, it will be fetched all of the all records in this result thing. So I have this for loop, right? For X in result, try to print X. So save this thing. You no need to commit now because it's reading, not inserting. Close the connection.
No loop.
I have loop, right?
Oh, okay.
their spelling is mistake. Yeah. Result CLT.
Yeah, result. Here's this thing, and then I got 5 records, right?
Okay.
This is because like I have written in the for loop X, and you can see that retrieving the records, everything is there in the form of tuple itself, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Suppose if I print this result directly,
Only one row will come up.
Yeah.
that's in a list, right?
Oh, it
So you
will
ask
give
like
list as well as tuple.
tuple.
Oh, okay.
Inside that list, tuple is there. So you can take these records and insert in another table, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
But the table columns must be same, correct?
Yeah.
So now here to fetch all, it will retrieve all the records from the database and display it, right?
Yes.
But suppose I want to like we don't insert the ID, right? Usually it's auto increment. So I don't want this ID now. Then how to get select only this name, salary, and department
Only those
particular
columns
records.
necessary. Okay.
Yeah, particular columns only I want to have. So what I can do, I select name, salary, department, right? So let's execute this once. What I got, name, salary, and department, right? So what column values you want, you can select those columns particularly. Clear? But I'm getting all the records, right? If I want only one record, then
We can give
the
where
first
condition.
record.
Like idea, salary, name.
Okay. So what is that? Where ID equals to 1 MC. I got a single record, right?
Yes.
Without where, we have one more way also. What is that one more way? Instead of fetching all, fetch one. So what is this fetch one doing actually?
Okay, the only one data.
It will retrieve only one record. Rahul 20,001 or two, right? So that's the advantage you can say. It fetch one, you can separate those things. Next, now what I want to do is I want to have where condition to select a particular name or any record, right? And display that by using this particular column names. Like I just want to give the column names actually. Print name is there, ID is there, or name, salary, department is there. And now what I want to do is save this thing and run. Which is fetch one actually. Let's say fetch all. So there's a name, salary, and department, right? Now while printing, let's format in a particular row. Like say for string percentile s, for int percentile d, percentile d, okay, double quotes percentile, like to display this particular values. What are the values? You can say x of 0, x of 1, x of 2. Like all the values are there in x. One by one I want to display it. Save this thing. So it's not in tuple now, right?
Yes, it's a
We have taken that index and displayed all these values. For string percentile s, for int percentile d. Okay. So let's take a particular where condition. Consider I want to get the employee details whose name starts with R. We usually have like where name like R percentile. This is known as wild card actually operators. Percentile means many characters. R in the sense the first character, like in the sense similar to this, whatever the records are there, retrieve all the records. Like in Facebook search also, in the search bar, you just write a particular R. What happens? The names with R will come. Then you type A. So the name with R and A only will come. So those things can be done using this query, name like. Let's see what happens if I run this query. I'm getting only the names Rahul and Ram, R only, right?
yes.
Understood? Any doubts?
No, right. Okay.
Right. Now, I just want to update the record now. Like insert, read is fine. How to update, how to delete, that also we have to see, right?
Oh, it's
So
a
let's do, yeah, tell me.
CRUD operation. It's a CRUD operation, right?
Yes,
Yeah. Yeah.
insert, update, delete, select. Anywhere you need to understand these four things. And already in our doctor application, we have seen insert and select, right?
Yes.
So we need to see how to update, how to delete. Okay. So next thing, I want to update, right? So no need of this for loop and
Yeah,
all.
yeah, Rohit. So whatever we are giving a comment, we can give the. I mean, whatever we do in the SQL prompt in MySQL, that we can do here once connection is open. That's what you're trying to say.
The connection is open, you're saying?
No, no. You are saying right, one by one instruction. If I want to execute any objects in the database, right? So example, procedure function that also can be done in Python.
Yeah, procedure. I didn't do procedure any time before.
Okay, no, I'm just asking. So cursor is only a select. It's only a SQL query, right? Any objects we have, it will do a backend operations.
Yes, like procedure in Python, which is function
Yeah,
stored procedure.
yeah, sure, sure, sure.
So we need to create a stored procedure with find all.
Yeah, that is a backend one. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, yeah. In Python, we have MySQL connection. Yeah. Call procedure method is there.
Yeah, yeah, okay, yeah. So everything is cursor. Cursor is a keyword. Keyword. Yeah, okay.
It
Instead
is
of
pointing to a particular table.
okay, okay,
And from that, you can have this call procedure.
okay,
It will find all the records. A result is there. Cursor.store results and
okay.
fetch all that particularly.
Yeah,
The method fetch all is same.
yeah, yeah. Okay. And one more doubt. It's a basic doubt only. I'm just asking. So
Yeah.
whatever the program we are using, right? We can schedule the program in Python itself, or we need to use a Unix or Linux to schedule or to execute. We are manually doing, right? Whatever the program we are writing, but in the real-time application that we will not do, right? It will need some automation.
Yeah, Unix you can use.
In Unix, they'll call this Python program, huh?
Yeah,
In general, okay.
yes.
To
Because
schedule,
because in the companies also mostly Windows is not being used.
yeah, okay. So the same way, how the other programs are scheduled in, I mean, like Java programs are scheduled in Linux, similar way, the Python program also will be scheduled.
Yes. See, programming languages changes, but the process will be same. Like here also, whatever you're writing the commands and all, these are same in Java and all the things, right?
Yes,
Just
yes, yes.
there also we have execute query.
Okay,
Slight changes will be there. That's it.
okay,
But the process will be same.
okay. Yeah, now I know.
Next thing, what I have to do, I have to update the record. Update employee set. What I want to set actually?
Yeah, the column to be changed. You can change the salary.
Yeah, salary 12,000 is there, right? I just want to have as 42,000. So how to write this thing? 42,000 means set salary equals to 42,000, but it will
Where
be,
ID
yeah, where?
ID equal to 108 also.
Yeah, where ID equals to,
103. Oh,
that
sorry.
is not there.
Yeah.
That is
So 3.
3. And what I'm trying to say here, execute cursor dot execute, right? What is the thing? Cursor dot execute SQL. And the commit must be there. Save this thing. Go here, run it. I got 42,000, right?
Yeah.
Now let's do with the val. like instead of giving the value here, let's say percentile s I'm trying to give, and val as what, we need two things, right? Say in the value I want to pass how many values now?
Two values. One is salary, one for ID.
One for ID.
Right. So directly two values in the sense I can take the tuple thing. One is salary like 54,000 and one is ID like 3, right?
Yeah.
Let's do this thing whether it's getting executed or not.
Mm-hmm.
It's getting executed, right? So which is a better way in the sense the second way, right?
Yes.
Because we are not sending the value directly. If I have to send the values directly, every time you have to execute the query only. But now what I'm trying to do, first query will be executed, then the values will be sent. Okay. Here these are the values. Whatever you want, we can give it directly. And we can take runtime input also, right?
So you may taken 3. Oh, runtime means in the command prompt.
Yeah.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
okay, okay.
Let's try salary as input. Enter salary. ID input. Enter ID. Right?
Okay. Yes, I'll come ID.
Mm.
Salary come ID.
Save
Okay.
this thing. I'm having a salary like ID is 3. So dynamic way also is fine, right?
Yes.
Next thing. What if suppose I want to insert the records in such a way that first after inserting the record, it should ask, do you want to continue or not? If I say yes, it should continue. If I say no, it should stop. Like instead of having all those things, I'm just saying insert command previously what I've written. Insert into employee. What are the things we have? First is name, salary, department, address, right? And the values will be percentile s, percentile s, percentile s, and percentile s, right? Next, we'll have ID there, or what I can do, instead of taking the values directly, I'll just say enter details. Print enter details, or employee details, I can say. ID is there, salary is there, and what I can do, ID is not required, I guess, actually. Name is required, input, and name, salary will be there. After the department will be there, input, and address will be there, that will be input. Okay. So the values will be name, salary, department, address. Save this thing. Enter the employee details. First, we need to enter the employee name, some salary, some department, some place. Employee spelling mistake. Is this that employee? Yeah. ABC, some salary, some department, and some place. We got this record, right?
Yes.
Now I want to write it in a loop. How to write it in a loop so that it should repeat?
For I,
We have while, right?
okay, yeah, we can do, yeah.
While, what I want to say? I want to say when status is equals to yes. How to compare that values? Can we use double quotes to compare the value?
Yeah,
The string. Or do we have some methods in the string to compare also?
Yeah. The string also we can compare.
How to compare apart from double equals to? Is there any way? We have seen the string concept, right?
Yes, yes.
We can use double equals to for comparison. I'm asking, just is there any other way to compare? That's it.
Now for the comparison, we must use the double equal to.
Right. So we'll use this double equals to status equals to yes. So what is status? We have to declare it right first.
yeah.
And first I'm giving it as yes. So every time it will be yes, right?
Mhm.
I
We
need
will
to change
change.
it. How we can change it?
Yes, we can
Status
give.
equals to input. Say, do you want to continue?
Yes or no.
Mhm.
Yes, Y and N, or yes or no. That's it, right?
Yes, yes.
So once the loop will execute, it will go back again check the status. Status is yes, it will execute. Status is no, it won't execute. Right?
Mhm.
Yeah,
And the value must be there here. The status will be at the last line actually. Right?
yeah.
Yeah.
So let's try to print the row count. Save this thing. Anything missing? Anything wrong? Just check it now. Name, department, all the things are there, right? That's it. Some XYZ name, some salary, department. Do you want to continue or not? Yes. And what I can say, PQR. It's saying one record inserted, but how many got recorded? XYZ and PQR both has been recorded, right?
Yeah.
So here, how many times I press yes, those many times I can insert the record, right?
Mhm.
And if you want, you can use slash n so that it will go to the next line actually and ask you properly. Okay. So at the end, cursor will be having only one record because already one has been inserted and again I'm seeing one, right?
Yes,
So in this way, what I'm trying to do, like if you go to ATM center also, it'll ask, do you want to continue the transaction? Yes, it'll continue the entire transaction. If no, it'll come out, right?
yes.
Yes.
Any doubts in this program?
No.
No.
Did I see delete? Did I show you delete?
Yeah, that's fine. We'll try our exercise as a exercise.
Yeah, like just normally what you have to do is call the delete method inside the execute, right? Delete from employee where ID is there. Uh,
Yeah, we can give the real-time input also. Yeah, we will take that as an. Yeah, can do.
you want to do it, then fine. You try it out.
Yeah,
You can just check these things and all.
yeah.
And try to do with Oracle also. But you need 11G. You have 11G, then you can do it. Install
Yeah,
the module, access the things.
the same thing. We need to have SQL. I mean Oracle connector or something like that. Everything similar to that.
Yes, you can Google the things like what methods are there. Mostly it will be similar. Okay, connect host, username, password, even with the MySQL, SQLite also,
Yeah.
it will be same. Okay, so that's it for today. We'll see tomorrow the doctor application.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
what concepts are pending actually? We have seen that form.
No, form to
What?
save changes. It's pending. We just created the form, but we never made that.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Form to the database we have to see, right?
Yes. Yes.
And we have to see the update and delete. So what we have to do, we need to create a doctor now. We just created a user, right?
Yeah.
User registration is done, user login is done, user profile has been done. In the user, we should apply an appointment. Doctor can see those appointment. Doctor can accept or reject, right?
Okay.
Mm.
And the status will be there. Status must be seen by the doctor and the user. So
Okay.
all these things are pending. Okay, in this we'll cover the update and delete also. Like accept and reject will be the right.
Okay.
Reject in the sense it will be deleting. Accept in the sense it will be accepting. Okay,
Okay.
right. So that's it for today. We'll meet tomorrow then.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.